He doesn't stand a chance. All right, jurors, come on down.
Sweated like that boy who was tried.
You'd think they had aircon in a place like this. Oh, it's dying in court.
Should be fixed by now.
Well, this should go fast anyway.
Yes, it is hot.
All right, jurors, everybody's here. If you need anything, I'll be right outside that door. Just knock.
Thank you.
Did he just lock the door?
Yes, he did.
What do they think we are? Crooks? They've locked us up for a little while.
Yeah, and then they locked that boy up for good, and that's all right with me.
I never knew they did that.
What did you expect? Sure they locked the door.
I just didn't know it. It never occurred.
Look, shall we all admit right now that it's hot and humid and our tempers are short?
It's been a pretty tough week.
But I feel just fine.
I wonder what's going on down at the office. You know, in advertising, my job could be gone in 6 days and the whole company too. They're not going to like this down at the office.
Well, I think this is our duty.
I didn't say anything about not doing my duty. I just said I might not have a job when I come back.
You should ask him for a job. I bet he could give you a wonderful one. Look how smart he is dressed.
Is that a designer suit?
Yes, it is.
I have an aunt who makes clothes.
Oh, and how does she do?
Oh, not too well. No, a friend of hers, that's a friend of my aunt, the dressmaker, she wanted to be on this jury in my place.
Oh, why didn't you let her? I'd have done anything to miss this.
What? And get in trouble or something? Do you know the sort of fine you can pay for something like that? Anyway, this friend of my aunt's was on a jury once, about 10 years ago. A case pretty much like this one.
So what happened?
Well, they got him off. Reasonable doubt. And you know what? About 8 years later, they found out he'd done it anyway. A guilty man, a murderer, was just turned loose onto the streets.
Ooh, how horrible.
Did they get it?
No, they couldn't.
Why not?
But no one can be held in double jeopardy. Unless it's a hung jury, they can't try anyone twice for the same crime.
Oh, that isn't going to happen here.
6 days. We could have done it in 2 days. Honestly, all I've heard is talk. Have you ever heard so much talk about nothing?
Well, I guess they're entitled. Oh, yes, everyone's entitled to a fair trial. I suppose that's the system. Still, I guess we can't say anything against it.
Yeah. How do you like that business about your life? Did you ever in your life be such a story?
You have to expect that. You know what you're dealing with.
You brought a flip knife that night?
And then played big lost it.
A hole in his pocket.
A hole in his father.
Evil.
An awful way to kill your father. A knife in his chest. Well, look at the kind of people they are. You know that.
Hey, what's the matter? You got a cold?
Oh, this hot weather colds can kill you.
I had one last year on my vacation too.
All right, folks, can we take our seats, please?
Right, well, this better be quick. I've got tickets to Beauty and the Beast tonight. Yes. My wife and I must be the only ones who haven't seen it yet. All right, Ryan, start the show.
How about sitting down? The ladies in the window. How about sitting down?
Are we going to sit in order?
You know, I was thinking we ought to sit in order by juror number 2, 3, 4, and so on, if that's all right with everyone.
What's the difference?
I think it's reasonable to sit according to number.
I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. Oh.
boy kills his father. Bing, just like that. Well, it's this juvenile delinquency. Parents let their kids run wild. Maybe it serves them right.
Don't be getting emotional about it, it's about the evidence. It's not how we feel.
Oh, we all agree that it was hot.
Yes, and our tempers will get short.
Well, that's what we disagree with. This is an open shut case. Come on, let's just go.
All right, so we can handle this any way you want to. I mean, I'm not going to make any rules here. So, if we want to discuss it first and then vote, well, that's one way. Or we could vote right now and see where we all stand.
Oh, let's vote now. I mean, maybe we can all go home.
Yeah, let's see where we stand.
Yeah, come on. Right, let's vote now.
Let's vote. Anyone doesn't want to vote?
Huh? Well, that was easy.
All right. So all, let me just, oh no, I don't. Well, give this a go. All those voting guilty, just raise your hands. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for guilty. All those voting not guilty.
Wow. See, what's the matter with you?
All right, so now we know where we stand. We've got 11 voting guilty and 1 voting not guilty.
Do you really believe the boy's not guilty?
I don't know what I think.
After 6 days, she doesn't know.
In 6 days, I could learn calculus. This is ABC.
I don't believe it's as simple as ABC.
I don't think I ever saw a guiltier man in my life.
What does a guilty man look like? He's not guilty until we say he's guilty. Are we to vote on his face?
You sat in the courtroom, same as I did, heard the same things I did. The boy's a dangerous killer, you could see it.
What does a killer look like?
Well,
No, I would like to know what a killer looks like. What are the facial characteristics of a killer? Maybe you know something I don't.
Look, what is there about the case that makes you think the boy's innocent?
He's only 19.
well, that's old enough. I mean, he knifed his father 10 centimetres into the chest. An innocent little 19-year-old man.
Look, I agree with you this morning, but I think we should avoid emotionally conduct.
Okay, well, they proved it a dozen different ways in court. Do you want me to list them?
No.
Well, do you believe that stupid story he told?
Now.
Do you believe the boy's story?
I don't know what I believe.
So what did you vote not guilty for?
There were 11 votes for guilty. It's not so easy for me to raise my hand and send a boy off to a life in prison without talking about it first.
Well, who says it was easy for me?
No one.
Look, he's just as guilty whether it's an easy vote or a hard vote.
Is there something wrong because I voted fast?
Oh, not necessarily.
Oh, look, I think the boy is guilty. Right? You couldn't change my mind if you talked for 100 years.
I don't want to change your mind.
Well, what do you want?
I want to talk with it. Look, this boy, he's been kicked around his whole life. He lives in a slum, his mum dead since he was 9. You know, I just feel like he's a tough, angry boy. And you know why some children get that way? Because we knock them over the head all the time. He's a tough, angry boy. And do you know why some children get that way? Because we knock them over the head all the time. I just think we owe him a few words, that's all.
All right, life's hard. It was hard for me. Everything we've got, my wife and I fought for. I worked my way through college where I met her. A long time ago, perhaps you do forget. But I fought, yes. And my wife fought. Neither of us ever killed.
And I know hard luck too, and I didn't kill anyone either.
And I've been kicked around too. You wait till you work in an ad agency and the guy who buys the advertising walks in.
In my country, in Asia, kicking was a science. But let's try to find something better than that.
Oh, I don't mind telling you this. Look, we don't owe this boy anything. We got a fair trial, didn't we? You know, what do you think that trial cost? Look, we're all grown-ups here. You're not going to tell us we have to believe this boy knowing what he is. I've lived among them all my life. You can't trust a word they say. You know that.
I don't know that.
What
What a terrible thing to do. Since when is dishonesty a group characteristic? You don't have a monopoly on the truth.
Oh, all right, please. Save it for Sunday. We don't need a sermon.
Oh, what this woman is saying is very dangerous.
I don't see any need for arguing like this. I think we ought to behave like adults.
Right!
Certainly, insist.
Thank you. Now, if we're going to discuss the case, why, let's discuss the facts.
No, actually, that's a good point. I mean, we have a job to do, people, so let's do it.
If nobody minds, I am going to close the window. It was blowing on my neck.
No, I'd like to have the window open.
It was blowing on me.
What's the matter? You don't want air. It's summer, it's hot.
Sir, I was very uncomfortable, sir.
There are 12 of us at this table. That is the only window, if you don't mind.
But I have some rights too.
So do the rest of us.
Couldn't you trade chairs with someone else at the table?
All right. I will open the window if someone would pray.
Take my chair.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, can we get back to the case now, please?
Yes, let's.
Who's got an idea? Where's Reginald?
Well, I may have an idea here. Now, I'm just thinking out loud, but it seems to me that it's up to all of us to convince her that we're right and she's wrong. So, why don't we go around and speak for a minute or two and just try on the sides?
That actually sounds fair.
That's very fair.
So why don't we go once around the table by juror number?
Okay. Let's start it off.
Juror number 2. That would make you first, I believe.
Well, I just think he's guilty. I mean, I thought it was obvious.
In what way was it obvious?
Well, that nobody proved otherwise.
Nobody has to prove otherwise. Innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. The defendant doesn't even have to open his mouth. It's in the Constitution. Maybe you've heard of it?
Everyone has.
Sure, yes, I've heard of it. I know what it is. Well, what I meant. Well, anyway, I just think he's guilty.
No reasons. Just guilty.
Yes.
A man's life is at stake here.
Okay, all right. Well, let's stick to the facts then. Number 1, let's take the old man who lived on the floor directly beneath the room where the murder took place. At 12:10 on the night of the killing, he heard a loud noise coming from the apartment directly above him. He said it sounded like a fight. Then he heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he heard the body fell. He ran to the door and looked out, saw the boy running down the stairs and out of the house. Then he called the police. They found the father with a knife in his chest.
That's it.
And the coroner fixed the time of death at around midnight.
Right. So what else do you want?
It just doesn't seem to fit.
The boy's whole story was flimsy. I mean, he claimed he was at the movies. That's ridiculous. He doesn't even remember what picture he saw.
Yeah, that's right. He's absolutely right.
He didn't have any ticket stub. Who keeps a ticket stub at the movies?
Oh, that's true.
I suppose, but the cashier didn't recognize him.
And the ticket taker, neither.
What about the woman who lives across the street? If her testimony don't prove it, then nothing can.
That's right. She looked through the open window and saw the killing. She saw it.
People, let's go in order.
Wait a minute. Here you've got this woman who's trying to sleep. She can't get to sleep. It's hot, you know. Anyway, she wakes up and she looks out the window, and right across the street, across the L tracks, she sees the boy knife his father.
How can she be really sure it was the boy when she saw him through the windows of a passing elevated train?
She's known him all his life. She's lived there. was right across from hers, across the L tracks. She swore that she saw him knife his father. She saw it.
I heard her swear it.
Well, and then he proved in court that if you look out the window, just across the windows of an L train, at night, you can see what's happening on the other side. They proved it.
Weren't you saying a few minutes ago that you can't trust them, that you can't believe them?
So?
Well, I'd like to ask you this. How come you believe her? She's one of them, isn't she?
Oh, you're a smart cookie, aren't you?
All right, then take it easy.
Yes, come on, sit down. Don't let it get the better of you. Just relax.
They didn't take us out to that woman's room, and we looked through the window of a passing L train, didn't we?
Yes, we looked.
But weren't you able to see what happened on the other side?
Well, I didn't see as well as they said I would, but yes, I could see what was on the other side.
You see. You do see, don't you?
Now calm it down, please. Number 5, your turn.
I'll pass it.
That's your privilege. How about you?
I don't know. Thought quite early in the case that, well, I was convinced that he was guilty and I was looking for a motive. I thought that it was very important that there was a motive. But if there's no motive, then where's their case? Anyway, what convinced me in the end was the testimony of the people across the hall. Didn't they say something about an argument between the father and the boy around 7 o'clock that night? I mean, I could be wrong.
I think it was 8 o'clock, not 7.
That's right, they heard an argument at 8 o'clock, but they couldn't hear what it was about.
They heard the father hit the boy twice, and then they saw the boy walk angrily out of the house.
Right, okay.
So what does that prove?
Well, it doesn't prove anything. Really, it doesn't prove anything. It's just a picture, I didn't say it actually proved anything.
You said it revealed a motive for the killing. The prosecution said the same thing. Well, I don't think it's a very good motive at all. This boy has been hit so many times in his life that violence is practically a normal state of affairs for him. I can't see 2 slaps provoking him into committing murder.
Well, there may have been 2 slaps too many. I mean, everyone has a breaking point.
Absolutely. So anything else?
I don't know. Look, most of it's been said already. We can talk about this thing all day, but I think we're wasting our time.
I don't.
Neither do I. Now go on.
All right? Well, look at the boy's record, all right? He stole a car.
Yeah.
He's been arrested for money.
Yeah.
I think someone said that he once stabbed somebody in the arm. That was picked up for knife fighting. At 15, he was sent to a reform school.
Yes, and he was sent to reform school for stabbing someone.
This is a very fine boy.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father used to beat him up regularly. He used his fists.
Oh, so would I on a boy like that.
You know what? You're absolutely right. It's the kids nowadays. They don't listen to you. Well, I've got a boy. He's 8 years old, and when he was 8, I've got a boy, and when he was 8 years old, I caught him out in the street with the neighbourhood gang, and out in the street and fighting. And that's after I told him to stay away from those thugs. He goes and joins them. Do you know what? When he got home, I gave him an absolute whipping. When he was 15, well, he hit me in the face. A woman, but his mother. He's big, you know. And, well, I haven't seen him in 3 years. Well, maybe I'm better off without him. Wrong kid. But I hate tough kids. You won't be half that, and well, you know. Anyway. Well, let's just get on with it.
Look, we're missing the point here. This boy, let's admit he's the product of a filthy neighbourhood and a broken home, but we can't help that. We're not here to go into the reasons why slums are breeding grounds for criminals. They are. I know it, and so do you. The children that come from slum backgrounds are a potential menace to society.
You said it there, I don't want any part of it, believe me.
I've lived in a slum all my life.
Wait a minute.
I used to play in a backyard filled with garbage. Perhaps it still smells like it.
Oh, no, now be reasonable, please. There's nothing personal.
There is something personal.
Come on now. It's okay. Don't be so sensitive.
Well, who was she referring to then?
I can understand the sensitivity.
Please, can we stop the bickering?
We're wasting time.
Number 8, I think
How's
it's
your
your
like
turn.
this woman?
Oh, right. Well, I had a peculiar feeling about this case. Somehow I felt that the defence wasn't actually ever conducting a thorough cross-examination. And so many questions were left unasked.
Well, it doesn't change my opinion about the guilt of the boy, but still, I agree with you. The defence counsel was bad.
Well, this is the point.
What about the facts?
So many questions were never answered.
What about the questions that were answered? Well, okay, well, take that cute little flip knife, the one that write-up boy admitted to buying.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's get it in here and see it again. I'd like to see it, Madam Foreperson.
Where do you want to see it again? We've seen it once already. Well, what do you think?
Well, I think the lady has a right to see exhibits in evidence.
Okay with me.
But the knife is a pretty strong piece of evidence, don't you agree?
I do.
Well, let's get the sequence of events right as it relates to the knife.
The boy admits going out of the house at 8 o'clock and after being slapped by his father.
Or punched.
Or punched. He went to a neighbourhood store and bought the fig knife. The storekeeper was arrested the following day when he admitted selling it to the boy.
Right. And that's a pretty unusual knife. It's quite hard to forget something like that.
The storekeeper identified the knife, and he said it was the only one of its kind he had in stock. Why did the boy get it?
As a present for a friend, he says.
Am I right so far?
You're right.
Yeah, you bet he's right. Listen to this man. He knows what he's talking about.
Next, the boy claims that on his way home, the knife must have fallen through a hole in his coat pocket. Yes. He says he never saw it again. Now there's the story. Do you know what really happened? The boy took the knife home, and then a few hours later he stabbed his father with it and even remembered to wipe away the fingerprints. Everyone connected to the case identified this knife. Are you trying to tell us that someone picked it up off the street, took it to the boy's house, stabbed the father with it, just to be amusing?
No. I'm saying that maybe the boy did lose the knife and somebody else stabbed his father with a similar knife. It's possible.
Take a look at that knife. It's a very strange knife. I've never seen one like it before in my life, and neither had the storekeeper who sold it. Aren't you trying to make us accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm not trying to make anyone accept anything. I'm just saying it's possible.
And I'm saying...
Hey,
What?
hey.
What are you trying to do?
That's the
Look
same.
at this. Who do you think you are?
Look. Where did you get it?
I bought it in a little junk shop around from where the boy lived.
No.
It cost $10.
Listen to me.
I'm listening to you.
Well, that was a pretty smart trick that you pulled there. Well, it's proved absolutely zero. So what? There could be 10 knives like that. So what?
Well, maybe there are.
The boy lied and you know it.
And maybe the boy didn't lie. Maybe he did lose the knife. Maybe he did go to the movies. Maybe the reason the cashier didn't recognize him is because he snuck into the movies and he's too ashamed to say. Is there anyone here who didn't sneak into the movies when they were younger?
Well, I didn't.
Really? Not even once.
We didn't have movies. Oh.
guilty.
Look, maybe the boy didn't go to the movies, maybe the boy did. He may have lied. Do you think he lied?
Now that's a stupid question. Sure he lied.
What about you?
You don't have to ask me that. You know my answer. He lied.
What about you?
I don't know.
Wait a second, what are you, the boy's lawyer? Look, there are 11 of us here who think that he's guilty. You're alone. What do you think you're going to accomplish, huh? What? If you're going to be stubborn and hang this jury, I'm sure he'll be tried again and found guilty, sure as he's born.
Maybe you're right.
So what are you going to do about it? We can be here all night.
It's only one night. Boy may spend the rest of his life in jail.
Come on.
That's right.
I think we ought to get on with it now.
Yeah, come on, let's get going here.
Obviously you don't think the boy is guilty.
I have a doubt in my mind.
Yes, but you haven't really presented anything to us that makes it possible for us to understand your doubt.
That's true.
I mean, there's the old man downstairs. He heard it.
Yeah.
He heard the boy shriek it out.
Yes.
Huh?
Doesn't seem to fit. It's hard to see.
Well, and the woman across the L tracks, she saw it.
Well, we know that he brought a flick knife that night, but we don't know where he was, at the movies.
And the boy and his father did have a fight earlier that night.
He's been a violent boy all the way. And well, that doesn't prove it.
Still, you know it.
Look, I've got a proposition to make. I want to call for a vote. I want the 11 of you to vote by secret ballot. I'll abstain. If there are still 11 votes for guilty, I won't stand against. We'll take it straight into the jury as a guilty verdict.
Okay, let's do it.
That sounds fair. Does everyone agree?
Yeah, I certainly do.
Yep. Yeah, let's do it.
Perhaps this is best.
All right. Well, you've all got your voting forms, so. 9, 10, 11. Yay, 11 votes. All right. Guilty. 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 But that's 6. Please. 6 guilty. 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 Not guilty?
Oh.
What's that?
Right, who was it? I think we have a right to know.
Yeah, all right. Who changed their vote? Honestly, which idiot changed their vote?
Is that the way to talk about a man's life?
Whose life are you talking about? The life of a dead man or the life of a murderer?
I want to know who.
Yes, I want to know who.
Excuse me, but this was a secret ballot.
Nobody looked while we did it, but now I want to know.
Alright, a secret ballot, yeah. We agreed on that point, no? If the person wants it to remain a secret,
No, there are no secrets in here. That's the point. I know who it was. What's the matter with you? You come in here and you vote guilty, and then this slick cookie starts to tear your heart out with stories about a little boy who couldn't help but becoming a murderer. And you now change your vote to not guilty. If that isn't the most sickening
Oh,
thing.
Well, I agree with you that the boy is guilty, but let's be fair.
Hold it. Be fair. That's just what I'm trying to do. We're trying to put a guilty man in prison, and now we're listening to fairy tales.
Now wait a minute.
Now you listen to me.
Look, can we just try to keep this organised, people?
It isn't organised. Let's try to keep it civilized.
please, I would like to say something here. I have always thought that a person was entitled to have an unpopular opinion in this country. That is the reason I came here. I wanted to have the right to disagree.
So you disagree with us?
Well, usually I would. In this one case, I agree with you. But the point I wish to make say is that in my own country, I am ashamed to say.
Oh, now what do we have to do? Listen to your history of your country?
Look, it is wise to bear in mind what happens in other countries where people aren't allowed to disagree, but we are. So let's stick to the subject.
Yes, let's stick to the subject. Now, I want to know what made you change your vote.
What makes you think I changed my vote?
Because I do. Now get on with it.
I want to know too, you haven't told us yet.
There's nothing for her to answer.
What?
She didn't change her vote. I did.
I was going to tell you, you were so sure of yourself.
Sorry, okay, now so...
Maybe you'd like to know why.
Let me tell you why that was.
Oh, look, the gentleman wants to talk.
This lady chose to stand against us. That is her right. It takes a great deal of courage to stand alone, even if you believe in something very strongly. She left the verdict up to us. She gambled for support. I gave it to her. I want to hear more. The vote is 10-2.
That's fine. Now that the speech is over, can we go on?
No, I think we should take a short break.
Anything was made right there not guilty.
Don't see what it is.
Neither do I. They're clutching at straws.
As guilty as they get. That's the boy, I suppose.
Yes, there's that one juror that's holding me out. But she'll come around and she's got to. Fundamentally, she's reasonable.
I guess so.
They haven't come up with one real factor to back up not guilty verdict.
It's hard, you know.
Yes, it is. But what does guilty beyond a reasonable doubt really mean?
What's a reasonable doubt?
Exactly. When a life is at stake, what is reasonable doubt? Well, you've got to have juror. You've got to draw the line somewhere. If you don't, everyone will start lying.
There's not much doubt here.
Two people think so. I wonder why. I really wonder why.
Well, you do hear stories about innocent men who have gone to jail or dead sometimes, and then years later things turn up.
Yes, and on the other hand, sometimes killers get turned loose and they go and do it again. They squeeze out on a technicality and kill you.
Yeah. I'm sorry about earlier. I got a bit kind of anxious a bit then, and well, you know how it is, and I didn't mean it to get nasty, so nothing personal. Yeah?
Think nothing of it.
Well, supposing you answer me this. If the boy didn't kill him, who did?
As far as I know, we're supposed to decide whether or not the boy on trial is guilty. We're not concerned with anyone else's motives.
I suppose so, but who else had a motive?
Well, the father was getting on in years, perhaps an old grudge.
Remember, it's guilty beyond reasonable doubt. That's an important thing to remember.
Right.
Everyone's a lawyer here. Supposing you tell us what your reasonable doubts are?
Well, it's not so easy. So far, it's just a feeling I have. A feeling that perhaps you don't understand.
No, I don't.
A feeling. What are we supposed to do? Spend the night talking about your feelings? What about the facts?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Look, we heard the old man yell. The old man heard the boy yell, "I'm going to kill you." 1 second later, he heard the body falling. And he saw the boy running out of the house 15 seconds after that.
Yeah, so where's the reasonable doubt in that?
That's right. And let's not forget that the woman across the street looked through the open window and she saw the killing. She saw the boy stab his father. She saw it.
So that's not enough for you.
It's not enough for me.
Well, what is enough for you? But I'd like to know.
How do you like her? It's like talking into a dead phone.
She saw the killing through the windows of a moving elevated train. The train had 5 cars, and she saw it through the windows of the last 2 cars. I mean, she remembers the most insignificant details.
So what have you got to say about that?
It just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, well, supposing you take some time to think about what makes sense here. Join me again some notes and questions while we pass the time. Egan, your turn.
Oh, this isn't a game.
Wait a minute.
This is a man's life.
Who do you think you are?
Oh, I took it easy.
We have a good mind to walk around the table and slap her.
I don't want to be quiet, Sandy.
Did you see her? The nerve? The absolute nerve.
I agree.
She's out here.
How about everybody just sit down?
It don't matter. It don't mean nothing.
Weren't we talking about elevated trains?
Yes, we were.
So,
How long would it take an elevated train to pass a given point in 10 seconds? Guess.
well, what's that got to do with anything?
How long? Just have a guess.
I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Neither would I.
Nobody mentioned it.
What do you think?
About 10 or 12 seconds, maybe.
I would say that's fair. Anybody else?
I would say 10 seconds perhaps.
Yeah, 10 seconds, yes.
All right, we're agreed. 10 seconds. What are you getting at?
An elevated train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point. That point is the window in the room in which the killing took place. You can almost reach out of the room and touch the L tracks.
That's right. I tried it.
Yeah.
So,
How many of you have lived right by the L tracks?
I've had close to them.
They make a lot of noise, don't they? Yeah. So I've lived right by them. When you've got the window open and the train goes past, the noise is almost unbearable. You can't hear yourself think.
You can't hear yourself think. Get to the point.
The old man who lived downstairs, he heard the boys say.
He didn't say it, he screamed it.
The old man heard the boys scream, "I'm going to kill you." And then 1 second later, he heard the body fall. 1 second. That's the testimony, right? Right. The woman who lived across the tracks, who looked through the last two, looked across and saw the body fall through the last 2 carriages of the L train, right?
right.
So, the last 2 carriages.
What are you giving us here?
An L train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point. That's 2 seconds per car. This means that the old man would have had to hear the body fall after about 6 seconds or maybe more before the body fell, according to the woman. That means that the old man would have had to hear the boy say, "I'm going to kill you," just as the L track was roaring past his nose. It's not possible he could have heard it.
What do you mean? Sure she could have heard it.
With an L train going past.
Well, he said the boy yelled it.
An L train is very noisy.
Oh, well, it's enough for me.
It's enough for me too.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe the old man didn't hear it. Maybe with the old voice.
What are you talking about? You're calling the old man a liar.
It just doesn't fit. It stands to reason.
Are you crazy? Why would the old man lie about a thing like that? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe.
What? You're crazy. Why would he lie about a thing like that?
For attention. I'll go on.
You have a right to be heard.
It's just that I looked at him for a very long time.
Oh, what would you know?
Eh?
Remember my line.
Do you want to say?
What would you know?
Go back. I'll cut that. It's all good.
We did miss the.
Why would he, you're crazy. Why would he lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe.
Oh, what do you know? No, that's not right.
No.
Doesn't matter, but go on.
It was about writing things to the paper, wasn't it?
Oh, thank you. I just missed that one. Well, they are your full of right saying you should send them into the paper. They pay top dollar for that.
What does that have to do with a man's life? Why might the old man lie? You've a right to be heard.
It's just that I looked at him for a very long time. The seam of his jacket was split under the arm. Did you notice that? This was a very old man with a torn jacket who walked with 2 canes. I think I know him better than anyone else here. This is a quiet, frightened, insignificant man who's been nothing all his life. Never had recognition, name in the newspaper. Nobody knows him after 75 years. It's a real shame. A man like this needs to be recognised. He needs to be questioned, to be quoted, to be listened to. It's very important.
And you're trying to tell us that he lied about a thing like this just so he could be important?
No, he wouldn't lie exactly, but perhaps he made himself believe that he heard those voices and recognised the boy's face.
Well, if that isn't the most fantastic story I've ever heard, you can't make up something like that.
I am not making it up.
Well, you must be. You can't lie about something like that.
He made himself believe he told the truth.
What do you know?
I speak from experience.
Oh, all right. Is there anything else? No.
Does anybody want to come on?
Can we please get on with this?
Oh, that's fine, thank you. Now, there's something else I'd like to point out here. I think we proved that the old man could not have heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you."
I disagree.
Well, let's hear it through anyway.
But that phrase, how often have we used that? "I'm going to kill you." Your partner says, "Come on, Rocky, kill him." If you do that one more time, Junior, I'm going to murder you. It doesn't mean that we're going to kill someone, does it?
But we don't, the circumstances would change that somewhat.
I mean, the old man was murdered.
One more thing, the phrase was, "I'm going to kill you," and he screamed it at the top of his lungs.
That's the way I understand.
Now, don't tell me he didn't mean it. Someone says something like that, the way they say it, he means it.
Yeah. And how they mean it.
Do you really think the boy would yell something like that out at the top of his voice so the whole neighbourhood could hear it? Oh, the boy is far too bright for that.
Right! He's a stupid, ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
Arre, he doesn't even speak good English, madam.
Although the boy is clever enough.
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
All right, the vote is now 9-3 in favour of guilty.
I'd like to know why you changed your vote.
I think there's a doubt.
Where? What's the doubt?
There's a 9.
Oh, fine.
She has talked you into believing a fairy tale.
Now go on, now give us your reasons.
The old man too. Maybe he didn't lie, then just maybe he did. Perhaps the old man doesn't like the boy.
Oh, well, if that isn't the end.
There is reasonable doubt.
What are you basing it on? Stories that this woman made up? But she ought to write for the amazing Detective Monthly. She'd make a fortune. Come on, listen. The boy had a lawyer, didn't he? Why didn't the lawyer bring up all these
Lawyers
points?
can't think of everything.
Oh, what? You sit in here and make up stories out of thin air. And now we're supposed to believe that the old man didn't get out of bed, run to the door, and see the boy running downstairs 15 seconds after the killing.
And that's the testimony, I believe.
And the old man swore, yes, he swore to this, just so that he could be important.
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
Oh, ran, walked, whatever he got there.
I'm not sure what he said, but I don't see how he could have run.
He said he went. I remember it now. He said he went from the bedroom to the front door. That's enough, isn't it?
Where was his bedroom again?
Down the hall somewhere.
Down the hall. We're about to send a man to prison because the bedroom is down the hall somewhere.
I
thought you remembered everything. Don't you remember that?
No, I don't.
I don't remember it either.
Madam Foreperson, I'd like to see the diagram of the apartment again.
Why don't we have them run the trial over just so you can get everything straight?
The bedroom is down the hall somewhere. A man's life is at stake. Where is this bedroom exactly? Do you know?
I don't.
Madam Foreperson!
Well, what's this all about now? How come you're the only one who wants to see this all the time?
I want to see this one too.
So do I.
I want to stop wasting time.
We're not going to start wading through all that nonsense about where the body was at.
We're not. We're going to work out how a man who's had 2 strokes in the past 3 years, walks with a pair of canes, can make it from his bedroom to the front door in 15 seconds.
He said 20.
No, he said 15.
Okay, well, how long does he know how long 15 seconds is? You can't judge something like that.
He said 15. He was very positive about it.
Oh, he's an old man. Seriously, how could he know anything? Half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything? Well,
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
well, you know.
No! Perhaps you know. Yes, this is.
Hey, do me a favour. Wake me up when this is over.
I've looked at that diagram for 2 hours. Enough is enough.
Some of us are interested. Now, go ahead.
Alright, so this is the apartment in which the killing took place. The old man's is directly below and exactly the same. We have the bedroom, second bedroom, lounge room, kitchen and bathroom. The L tracks are here. There's a hallway. This is the front door and there are the steps. Now the old man said he got out of bed, went to the bedroom door, down the hall to the front door and opened it just in time to see the boy running down the steps. That's the testimony, right?
Right. That's what happened, yeah.
So the old man would have had to get up out of bed, walk 3.65 metres, open the bedroom door, walk 12.25 metres to the front door, and open it just in time. All in 15 seconds.
Correct.
Do you think this is possible?
You know it's possible.
I don't see why not.
Well, he would have been in a hurry because he heard the scream.
But he can only walk very slowly. They had to help him into the witness chair.
It's not alone. It's not.
An old man that uses 2 canes is a long walk.
Say, what are you doing?
I want to try this thing. Let's see how long it took the old man to get to the front door. So I'm going to pace off the length of the bedroom, 3.5 metres.
You're crazy. You can't recreate something like that.
No. Perhaps we should see. It is an important point.
Let it be Rebecca. Someone give me a chair, please. Thank you. So this chair is going to be the bedroom door. Okay, so how far would you say it is from here to the water cooler?
About 6 meters?
Yeah.
Just about.
Thereabouts? Yeah. Excellent. So from here and back would be around 12 metres, which is probably a little less than the old man had to walk, wouldn't you agree?
A few metres, maybe.
Look, what makes you think you can do this? This is absolutely insane.
We can't stop her.
Do you mind if I try? According to you, it'll only take 15 seconds. We can spare that. Right, now, who has a watch with a second hand?
Oh, I have.
You can time it. Just stand your foot when you're ready, and that'll be the body falling.
Okay, we'll time you from there.
Excellent. Now we'll just say that the man kept his canes by his bed. Okay.
Right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, I'm waiting for the hand to get to 60.
Okay, here's the body fall. Gets his canes. Stands up. And he's walking to the
Speed it up, it will walk twice as fast as that.
No, this is even more quickly than the old man walked in the courtroom.
Yeah. If you want me to walk faster, I will.
Maybe just speed it up a little.
Hearing people running, gets to the front door, opens, stop!
Right,
What's the time?
15, 20, 30, 35, 39 seconds exactly. It can't be.
39 seconds?
Now that's interesting.
Say, now you know.
Well, what do you think about that?
39 seconds, yeah, 39.
And the old man swore on his oath that it was 15.
She may have been a little bit off on the speed that the old man moved at, but 24 seconds off, yeah? Well, now you know.
Far be it from me to accuse anyone of lying, but I mean, even allowing for a difference in speed between you and the old man, that's still quite
a discrepancy.
Yes.
I think it's safe to say that the old man heard someone running and assumed it was the boy.
Assumed?
I think it's possible.
I've seen some dishonesty in my time, but this little display takes the cake.
What dishonesty?
Well, tell her. Well, you come in here with your heart bleeding all over the floor about slums and injustice, and you make up these wild stories, and then you get a couple of soft-hearted sob sisters and brothers listening to you. Well, I'm not. I'm sick of it. What's the matter with you all? The boy's guilty. He's got to pay. We're letting him slip through our fingers.
Our fingers? Are you his jailer?
Well, I'm one of them.
Oh, perhaps you'd like to lock the cell.
Yeah, but well, for that is for nothing. You know I would.
I'm sorry for you.
Oh,
what it must feel like to want to lock him up and throw away the key.
Don't stop me.
You're a